how you nurse a dog back to health, too, and get them to eat.
That's right.
Mix and egg.
How do you guys nurse your dogs back to health?
That's the topic of discussion today.
Just talk about egg yolks. When I had egg on her face, thought I'd tell the story.
We've all had it.
All right. Dean, we have not started a list yet for the catalog. So
But
just...
we have.
Oh, do we have one?
Uh-huh.
Just kidding. When did that happen? A minute ago? Anyways, we'll make sure that you're on it.
Well, hello.
And we don't keep it a secret.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are
Hey
you
guys.
Hey, guys. Welcome.
Well, welcome to, I've lost track of how many we've done so far.
It's April. We started this last year, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so this
March.
is...
There was a couple months we skipped.
Okay.
Okay. So probably at least a solid dozen, if not like 14.
So a dozen. We'll call it a dozen.
We'll let you know when we figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, welcome back.
We're too busy working on the catalog.
Yeah, right?
Yes. So that's a big topic of discussion of today. Is that Rusty? You want to tell the fine folks all the
Sure. Liz is doing a great job, and if it's late, then it wasn't her fault. No.
Stacey's doing a very good
Stacey's
job.
doing a very good job.
Putting up with us.
We
can
have
say.
the catalog coming due. We hope to see it in May. We have the quarterly that should show up today, and we'll start going into orders and going out. You're going to find fewer pages in the catalog, but on those fewer pages, you're also going to find a refined selection, hopefully, that allows us to do a continued effort of doing a better job of serving you. We are streamlining a number of things. Some of those things are in your leathers, making them easier for you to purchase, making them easier for us to be able to get them out to you in a timely manner, and making sure that it's something that you'll be able to get every time you want to get it.
And hopefully the new pricing structure will be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
That's going to be the part to be able to look at.
And this will be, well, a feature length catalog.
Correct.
Not as featurey as the last catalogs.
Oh, we're not losing that many pages.
But, yeah.
Well, and
It's
I
still
think,
going to be a big one.
yeah, just one thing that we've been really focusing on is like looking through, like we are really good at adding stuff. Hello, Kevin.
Take that.
You can go.
I do.
No. Okay. We've been just, over the years, we've been really good at, we'll go to WISA and our vendors will show us the new leathers that they have and we'll add them to. We're like, oh, these are great. And so we'll add them. And every year we do that really well, but we don't go back through and be like, okay, what are our customers actually purchasing? What are they getting excited about? Or, with like the printed stuff, what are the new trends in printed leathers? Because every year you have kind of a switch in trend. You have a switch in color palettes.
And it's so easy to get caught up in what's in that box, what's in the next box.
Yeah.
We want to keep going. So
yeah, and so we've been trying to remove all the things that maybe we sell a side or two a year of. We've kept bringing on the new, the fresh, and like the fun. Especially this year, I think we did a really good job of bringing on a lot of new and fresh printed leathers, the fun new styles, the new colors that are on the market, or the colors of the year, that kind of thing. But kind of getting rid of some of that old stuff, so we just don't have so much stuff sitting around that makes it more difficult for us to try to do our job as efficiently as possible.
which all should come back to you being able to get it as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, and if there's something that you don't see in the catalog, just give us a call, and we'll try to find a substitute or something that we can get for you to make work. So on that note, a little bit about the kind of some of the new things that have been going around in the store. You want to share a little bit about that, or Kevin?
What new things?
What new things?
We never have anything new happening here.
New thing. You're the one that knows all about the new things.
Well, one new thing. It's not new, but we are doing our second annual auction, hosted by us. And the auction company is James Cox. I don't know his auction company name off the top of my head, but we're trying to get all the flyers and everything made for that we can in a timely manner so that those can be out. That should be
the weekend,
May 25th and 26th.
The weekend after the Sheridan show.
Yep.
So weekend after the Rocky Mountain. If you want to drive from Wyoming to Springfield, Missouri.
Because Brandon should be back
Yeah.
by then, and Dan.
Yeah.
Because Brandon and Dan are driving out the week before.
you're
So.
just everybody caravan back.
Yeah.
We'll have the gypsy trek
I
of leather crafters across the
I
country.
think Brandon's Santa Fe, it'll hold like 6 people,
we'll be fine.
2 on the roof.
We'll get Springfield leather flags to go on either side of his car.
There
As
is
he drives
no
down the
amount
road.
of money that could get me in that van.
We will be, it'll be a nice 16-hour
It's a
leisurely
caravan,
drive.
so you can drive any one of your Toyotas that you would like.
Everyone will come back with a guaranteed new attitude. I can promise you.
Well, I'm excited for Sheridan. That was another
Sheridan,
topic of
yeah.
the discussion. I've never been up to Wyoming, never been up to that area of the country, so I'm kind of excited to get the 16-hour tour.
There's no trees. Just prepare yourself
Yes.
for no trees.
Okay.
It's weird.
And this year at Sheridan, we have some pretty exciting news.
But there are antelope.
There are.
There's more antelope than there are people.
Oh.
Literally, like you see squirrels in Missouri.
You know,
see
last year
antelope in Wyoming. Okay.
we were there
All right.
and we were driving from wherever it was we flew into. I don't remember what city it was, but we were driving to Sheridan. I saw one antelope. I was like, guys, they're gonna be everywhere. And I was all excited. I was telling everybody, and then we saw one, and it was like on the way back. It was like one of the last hills, and I was like, "There's one right there." Anyways,
And this
Maybe
year,
this year
Denny
was
is going to be up there.
yeah.
And he's going to be up there for very specific reasons.
He is, and he also is taking a vacation with his wife, and so I think they're pulling their camper through, and aren't they headed to Canada?
Yeah.
Well, he said they're not actually because she just had knee surgery,
Oh.
so they don't really know how much
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
around. So they
okay,
might just
okay.
leisurely take their time getting there and kind of tootle
Gotcha.
around and see.
Yeah.
But I don't. He said he wasn't going to do the camper thing, so we'll see what
I
he
got
does.
you.
But Denny
I
will be there. So for those of you
Yes.
guys that will be there and would like to meet him in person because you haven't had the chance to do so,
Mm-hmm.
keep your eye peeled for us. We'll be roaming around.
My
So-
notes fell on the floor with my phone, so you're going to have to carry this on.
I got it. Don't worry. So that's some exciting things that are going on as far as building wise. We're getting our sign. We got the sign off from the city on that one, so we're getting that all
Yep,
taken
new
care of.
sign should be here any time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And the front facade looks
really, any time
fun.
is just like any time. Any time.
This month, next month, 5 months.
Any time.
But we have the front facade
Yeah.
is all redone, so
Got a fresh new face.
Yes,
A
no
fresh
longer
new
have
face.
any cedar for Rusty
And
to
wasn't
power
it
wash.
getting it washed today?
Well, Sunday, yeah. Got a guy coming in doing the power wash on the sidewalk, make it look all spiffy.
Yeah. So Rusty doesn't have to get up there and stain the cedar anymore.
That's a shame.
Now we got about what?
That was a fun thing to watch.
We've got about 2 tons of angle iron up there.
Now we have
so,
roughly
yeah.
2 tons of angle iron up
So-
there. Yeah. So, but it is all taken care of and done and wrapped up, and that's a project that took us. It took about 4 years in the planning to be able to get it accomplished because we had to add. We had a flat roof, and I don't know who in the world thought that in Missouri was the place to put a flat asphalt roof with gravel on it. So we took about 30 tons of gravel off the roof.
30 tons?
Yeah.
We only put 2 back up.
Well, I know, it's a trade-off. So we've had to add 18 inches of styrofoam under the TPO rolled roofing from the front of the building to give us taper and fall all the way to the back. And once you do that, then you got to have new guttering on the back because they can't handle all the water load that was supposed to have been coming through there the entire time anyway. So we ended up with the bonus of the insulation value of the foam, the fall of the roof, a new roof.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Leather isn't the most amazing whenever it gets wet.
No.
And so somehow we are literally the most lucky people in the world. Like, I don't know how we've accomplished this. It's probably Kevin and his
Charm.
his charm, his Bob Rossness. But somehow all of the leaks that we've had, because we have had leak after leak after leak after leak, and it's leaked on electronics, it's leaked on whatever, but never leather, except for that one time maybe in the back.
Yeah.
Like with that flood came
There was
in.
that one time.
There was that one, but otherwise, over the last 25 years.
Well, and the building was built in 56, so I mean you can't complain a lot. That was the original roof. So
Yeah.
So we've gone this long with the original.
and
roof,
what I would
now-
like to make sure of is that in our roundtables we never talk about this roof again.
Okay.
The last
Noted.
roof
I'm going to
discussion.
make a note of that right now.
Write that down.
Well, anyway, in lieu of streamlining, our leathers and our offerings, and I'm bleeding again, aren't I?
Maybe you should have left the band on,
It
sir.
kept falling off.
We are disheveled this morning, if you can't tell.
But we have accomplished a lot, and Rusty mentioned streamlining our leather line. We've really, I think, kind of improved the oil tan line quite a bit. Everything from pricing, it's better and less expensive in many areas. And that's because we figured out how to do some things with tanners. And, being creative with a tannery really pays off. And a lot of times those tanneries just didn't realize that creativity is something that can happen. And so they get locked into, they sell, you got to have the best leather all the time possible. But an example probably would, it kind of works with our Herman oak. Most of our customers now are aware of how leather is graded. It's usually according to surface defects. And when you get a side of Herman oak or any other leather for that matter, and it's got a big old blemish right in the middle of it, big scar, just runs. Oh, it's 2 foot long scar, runs right across the hide.
We had a side like that of Herman oak here a few years back. It looked like a zipper. It was about that long. It was just stitches right down the side of the cow.
But tanneries don't realize that some of us out here are quite happy to have a 10-foot piece of leather. So when you cut through that scar and you have 10 feet over here and 10 feet over here, and no more scar.
Yeah.
You have 2 A-grade pieces of leather that end up getting sold for a craftsman grade price. And the tanneries are thrilled to be able to move that because it's difficult for them. It's the same way with the oil tans. They don't have enough customers that want to buy a lower grade oil tan. But if we have customers that are happy to buy 6 feet or 8 feet of certain leathers. So for us, buying a lower grade leather is a lower cost, and that's how we can pass that on to customers. You can't do that with every leather, but a lot of them you can.
Well, the other thing is when you begin to do that, you don't have to do that on every piece because you're willing to take some of that is more challenging. And that's something that Springfield Leather has always done for you, always tried to do for you, is figure out the ways to get you. For instance, the craftsman grade Herman oak came from the desire for Kevin to get Herman oak leather into the hands of people who tool. Yeah. So he went to Shep Herman. We've all heard the story. Sit down. Hey, why don't you sell me this leather? And that began our journey of getting Herman oak into people's hands. And it's the same way with other tanneries. They tan from a TR or, a tannery run. They're going to have some stuff. Well, when you can pull that stuff in and say, we'll cut this up. Mm-hmm. That allows them to move something. It allows you to create volume. It allows you to work with them. It makes the tannery want to work with you.
Sure. Yeah, and it makes them want to listen to you.
Exactly. And so that has always been a very strong suit for Springfield. And again, that's what Kevin's talking about. That's how you begin to get creative in helping them to appreciate. And sometimes you just literally have to go, and Kevin and I have gone to Herman Oak and at the tannery, watched them grade the leather, told them how it affected this, and that, and just had that back and forth communication. And that really is what the leather world's about.
Well, and I think also kind of in line with that, what we do so well is that we get these leathers in, and Kevin's great at making these bundles that we kind of capture that creativity, and we say, hey, this bundle would be great for XYZ. If you're a creative person, you can use this for whatever. So, I think that's the beauty of the fact that we have the ability to work with these different tanneries, and we get their, we'll buy some leather that they're tired of tripping over, and we'll turn it into a bundle or something like that.
That's something that's in the works too. We've always had leather bundles for a long time.
OG.
But it seems like in the current environment right now that a lot of people would rather spend less money on something rather than spend a large amount on one thing. So in the case of a bundle, you can buy a bundle with this leather, that leather, the other leather, something else, and who knows what else. And so you have this variety. But we've been working hard on trying to finesse those bundles to some degree so that more crafters have more of the leathers that they need in not a huge quantity, but will allow them to focus on actually making money on their products and allow them to discover what they can make money with. And I think that's a big deal.
I do too. I think it's an important thing too, because those kind of people are usually the folks that can roll a bundle out and that will work for this. And they take it and they do it. But then the next thing you know, either you walk past this piece of leather and you're like, oh, or somebody comes in and says, I'm looking for something like this, and you have it, but you bought it at a price that it's not just eating into your profits for it to sit there for a minute. But and the hope is that a lot of times, again, that you unroll it and something just motivates you in that bundle.
Well, that's a good point. And a lot of our customers have received a leather bundle. And, I've heard story after story about how people have received an ugly bundle, for instance, and they've said or reviewed or whatever and said, man, I got this leather and that leather, and it was absolutely great. And I did get a piece of leather that I just felt like I should put in the trash. But when you do the math, it's really inexpensive. And they make something really nice out of one of those pieces. And somebody just says, wow, I would like to buy those. And so they come back looking for a regular line item that they can buy to enable them to go forward in their leather business. And that's what it's all about, helping people be successful.
Yeah, and there's so much leather on the market. Like there's leather, just like Denny and I were talking about last week when we had all the leathers in here. Like leather is literally an endless variety of materials, like colors, shapes, thicknesses. Just there's literally no end to the variation, and we can only carry so many regular stock leathers. But the bundles and the odd lots and things like that we get in, it like gives this little spice to the regular stuff. That you can play and have some fun with leather that isn't $8 to $10 a square foot. Like you can experiment as a crafter with leather that's only costing you $2.50 to $4 or whatever that it is.
And that's a good point too, Liz, that you bring up because of the odd lot purchases that we make. Quite honestly, like Rusty says, the odd lot purchases have been a strength of Springfield Leather from day one, and they have enabled us to sort of do our best to follow the principle of having something for everyone. I mean, we can't literally do that, but it's pretty hard to call us or email us or write us or whatever asking for a certain leather. It's pretty hard to find something that we can't provide. And especially if a person is willing to wait, because X number of our vendors are willing to sell us a skin. And the only reason they do that, some of them, is because we're really a volume customer. Over the course of a year, we'll spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with these people. So when we call up and say, hey, buddy, have you got a side of something with pink polka dots and green stripes on it? And, well, yeah, I saw one of those. And they're willing to go out of their step out of their box and do a transaction that really is crazy for them, but they provide it, and that enables us to provide.
I do that all the time for people.
We do.
Yeah.
And so, a good case is, when we get in a box of these assorted bag sides that we get, and a box might have 10,000 square feet in it, and you get two sides of this crazy, cool purple, and somebody just calls you for crazy, cool purple, and there you go. You got it.
I think that creative mindset is, and the fact that we have a leather that will suit anybody. I heard somebody in the office, I don't remember who was on the phone, I think it was Jameson, but a customer called in looking for a specific leather and sent emails with this picture. She goes, well, we don't have that leather anymore, but how creative of a person are you? Because we have something that will work.
Right.
And it was interesting just hearing that phrase because, they found something that would work for that person that was similar enough to what they had. And so I think the fact that we get these odd lots in from the tanneries, it kind of just trickles down to the customer, to you guys, because we kind of put that creativity out there in your hands and let you experiment with something a leather that may not be in your wheelhouse, or something that you would normally buy. So,
hence the Herman Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's It's all about that.
So let's talk a little bit more about, our relationship with some vendors and Captain Obvious. We won't name any names, but
That's a great marketing.
Well, vendor relationships, that's something that I've preached for a number of years now, especially as I've gotten older.
You know what I didn't do is turn my ringer off.
I was like,
I thought that was
my
Luna for a
motorcycle.
second.
all right,
Well,
vendor
anyway.
relations.
Anyway, I've realized as I've gotten older just how important vendor relationships are. They're critical. They're what make a business.
Mhm.
A business can fail because they've neglected vendor relationships. I guess a good example would be all businesses from time to time get into a spot where it might be hard to pay their bills on time. And I don't know of any business that hasn't had that circumstance at some point in its existence. And if they haven't, they probably will going down the road. But what do you do in that instance? Well, do you just ignore paying your bills? Well, a lot of folks have done that. And you know where they are now? They're selling insurance or trying to sell insurance or something of that nature. And rather than just call and saying, hey, I know this is due. I'm having a little bit of a hard time. Could I have a little extra time? Or could we? And that's all it takes.
Mhm. Communication.
Yeah.
Novel.
Wow.
What a novel idea.
But I think, that goes both ways with us and our vendors and then us and our customers.
Well, sure.
And so, we've had some of our customers that, are net 30 customers or whatever the case may be. And they call us and they're like, I need another 2 weeks. I can send you this much money now and then I can pay you the rest of it, whatever. But we know that it goes both ways and we try to expect and anticipate that with both sides of the coin.
So a current email going on right now between myself and a vendor is, hey, I bought a bunch of leather and over half of it I can use in the container. The other half, the job fell through. It won't be here until July. Can I make you a deal on it and give you terms? And so basically it's the reverse.
Yes.
He's finding himself in a bad spot with half a container of leather. And he's trying to see if we will speak for some of it so that he knows where he's at. And,
Sure.
Those things happen. We've all made mistakes. And so at the same time, we've had things fall through. And so, that speaks volumes to the relationship because one, for that person to even call and ask us that means that we have a relationship.
Sure.
And means that there's that trust and knowing that we can do business
So
together. So
the lesson really is for our listeners, what we learn from this is for you all to take that to heart. And whoever you buy your supplies from, just make sure you've got the best relationship that you possibly can with those people. And with us, we really appreciate that very much. So
I do think
it's
that
a
we're
good
a pretty unique place to where we want a relationship with our customers. There's a lot of companies that are just, they're there to
They
sell
just
you
want to
things.
sell stuff.
Yeah, and it's different in the leather world to an extent. I feel like the leather world is it's a really unique place,
It's a
guys.
people place.
You guys are weirdos out there.
But we
But
love you.
we're not.
But no, we're not at all. But it's just because it's a natural I feel like it's very specifically because leather is a natural product, and every piece of leather, no matter if you're buying a regular stock piece of leather from Herman Oak, every single side is different. It doesn't. Everything about leather varies from one piece to the next piece. And so when people go to make something with leather and you have a really specific need, you need somebody that understands that you might want to buy this kid skin, but you can't buy the kid skin that has the extra wide butt and is really narrow. You need the skinny butt one that's longer so you can cut your book out of it or whatever that you need.
yeah, all right. I mean, she's right.
And so, or leather stretches in different ways. And you're like, okay, I'm doing this thing and I need it to stretch or just whatever the weird case is. And I feel like all of you guys out there, most of you know, or if you don't know, you're going to call us and find out Like if you got a piece of leather, you ordered 6 square feet, you never ordered leather before, you don't understand what it means to buy 6 square feet. You get the leather in the mail and you're like, this isn't 6 by 6. That's literally a thing that happens almost weekly. Is that somebody will call, never bought leather before, they buy 6 feet of something and they expect something that is 6 foot by 6 foot.
Or
and
6 foot long and,
exactly, and a foot wide or whatever. And so being able to call the vendor and like have a real conversation with a real person sitting 2 rooms next to us over here that like wants to do their best for you and to get you taken care of, even if we have to take that back and then we have a weird 6 foot piece of leather and then you really need 36 square feet and so you actually have to spend a lot more money. We're going to try to make that as easy for you as possible.
And we're going to try and prevent you from ordering 6 feet and thinking you're going to get 6 feet where we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so 36 feet.
Yeah.
Let's do math, guys.
Well, in addition to that, we've over the years, there's been numerous vendors and tanneries and new companies that have come to the market, selling hardware or tools or chemicals or whatever. And, they come and they'll visit with us. And we've seen them grow right alongside of us. And I think that kind of further solidifies that really, that level of trust, that relationship. We took a chance on that. And it turned out that their product was great. And it ended up growing along right with us.
Along with that thought, Dan, one of the things that we have really been focusing on for the last, 6 months or a year is cowhide rugs. And I don't know if you wanted to mention anything about that, the program that we're just starting to where we're going to be able
Rusty made a purchase a few days ago.
We're going to be able to sell rugs. You're going to be able to see the rug that you buy. And that's got a lot of potential. But before you go on, that means that they could see a picture of a cowhide rug that's for sale, and they could show it to someone else and sell it for more money.
Or show it to their customers and be able to make something out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we're working with a tannery that does that in-house in their
Yeah,
tannery.
they're fancy.
Yeah, they've got it all set up over a green table. I mean, even Lefty was drooling. You should. It was kind of nasty.
They have a whole wall full of PVC tubes that light up.
Yeah.
So they
To let
photograph
them know
every
if
one of them.
Yeah.
The photograph goes into their program. It gets a barcode generated to it. And that specific barcode is for that rug. And so basically what it'll allow us to do is to pick the rugs that we want to buy. Currently, when you say, hey, I want a pallet of rugs, you're going to get what is on the pallet. And it's going to be a pallet of rugs. Now, if you want all brindles, you're going to pay more. If you want all this, you're going to pay more. If you want all that, you're going to pay more. So you do better by taking a selection. Well, in this one, it doesn't change the price for us to make that selection. Then we're able to put that on to any platform that we want, and you'll be able to pick the specific rug that you want, much like you would if you were in-house.
That kind of, that triggers my thinking on when it comes down to people. We associate with one another. People do that. They get together. Everybody has friends. And at some point, you're going to have somebody come to your house, and hopefully, they will see a cowhide rug on the floor or on the wall or hanging over the couch. Yeah, and they're going to say, wow, that's really cool. Where'd you get that? And you're going to tell them, well, I got it Springfield Leather or wherever else you got it. Now you'll be able to say, I can get you one. You want to see some of the ones that are available? I can get one for this price. That's kind of a pretty big deal.
Now everyone can have cowhide rugs on their floor.
Or on the wall.
Or on the wall.
Yeah.
You have friends?
A couple.
Yeah, he's got to make his cheese dip for him.
Yeah. So
So that is an exciting thing.
that is exciting, and I think also another exciting thing is that it's our 25th anniversary.
It is our 25th anniversary.
So we do have some
Who'da
things
thunk?
coming up.
We have a catalog.
We have a
All right.
catalog.
I think that's enough, guys. It's been a
But
few years.
throughout the next couple months, we're gonna have some different things going on in celebration of that 25 years.
Yep.
So,
Hopefully everybody appreciated their golden ticket in the 100 boxes that the 100 people got.
that was
We're going to kind of party it up a little bit during the spring and summer while we've got the time to celebrate our anniversary, and then everything back to status quo, getting ready for season.
The gopher season.
Gopher season.
Gopher season.
Gopher season.
busy as gophers in Southburg.
Oh,
yeah.
Yours,
your thing.
yours thing.
I thought we were going to go hunting.
Do you know where I got that?
No.
Huh.
I will tell you where I got that. It was from an episode of the Beverly Hillbillies, and Jed Clampett said, "Yeah, we're busier than gophers and soft dirt around here." And I thought, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Kevin says, "Martha, write that down."
Funny. I did find there was an old Camp and Craft flyer, and I was going through, okay, so I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to paperwork, and I was looking for,
Not as bad as Darcy.
I got it from her. She taught me well. And so I was looking through this box. From my time in the shop, there was something that I needed to find, and I still haven't found it yet, but Crystal had a box, because every time I move desks, there's ends up with some boxes of stuff that just float around.
I resemble that remark.
And so Crystal had a box up in his office, and I pulled it down. I think it was late last week or maybe Monday. In any case, and I was going through the paperwork. I had paperwork from 2014. 2014, I had paperwork. I still have a whole thing of when I started ordering custom dyes. I still have a whole file folder of the dye picture, the customer, our PO number, the price quote. I have all of that.
You could throw that away.
I kept that. I don't know why, but I did throw a lot of things away. But one of the things that I found in there was a Camp and Craft flyer that was from, I think before I started working here. I don't know. But it was Camp and Craft spelled with a K's, both K's. And then it had an old picture of you in a cowboy hat from your chubbier days.
Yeah.
And then it had... There was a drawing that Ed had done with a dog and then a dude. What was their names again? There was
Eddie and
no.
Oh yeah,
It
was
who was he?
Shoot, I don't remember.
Oh,
that
shucks.
was Yep.
We've got people outside.
Well, in any case, I took it.
Get the dog.
Yeah.
Now you've made me think.
Okay.
I'll have to think
We'll
about
have to
that.
go get it from Maddie because I took it
tonight.
over to her for inspiration. But we've done some weird things over the years and some fun things. We always have our stupid dogs everywhere all the time.
Tanya Hyde. That was his name. Tanya Hyde. HYDE.
There you go.
But-
There's our
Well,
creativity.
yeah, I was going to say, we've certainly been creative over the last 25 years, haven't we?
It's
Well,
been
yeah, I don't know
fun.
if we're any smarter, but
I tried to be. You guys
Good
try to be
job.
You're
smarter?
doing a good job. I think you're doing great.
Well, we do have, so one of our customers that's been live shopping with us for a minute and been a frequenter of the show is Big Dog Paul. And he is a special customer because he comes to us from a special place where he used to do leather craft.
Ah, gotcha.
And so he is no longer in that special place. And
Hopefully you're in a more special place.
A better
in a better place. But, I mean, he says he owes his entire leather business to you.
oh,
And so he can't express, the gratitude that he had, that you have taken so much time and invested so much in that community of crafters
we really tried.
to give them something. And that's where the bundles came from. And that's where a lot of the odd lot stuff came from, is to be able to supply a segment of people in the United States that need
They don't have as much freedom as other folks. You might put it that way.
freedom. Yeah. And
The original gated community.
Yeah. But it in all in appreciation for that, of course, there was a certain amount of selfishness that went into that business because we felt we could increase business that way.
right.
But we also realized that if we could make people successful, then we would be successful.
Yeah.
And we made a lot of people successful.
Well,
we really did.
And there's always been a great deal of forethought going into what is offered to every segment of customer that we have, and especially in that realm where there's lack of finances, lack of ability to have certain things and decisions being made. And so, there's a lot of effort that was put into that, and it wasn't, it was forethought. That's the word I'm looking
and the
for.
basic principle behind that, which enabled us to actually cut leather for people, was the fact that back in that day, you had to buy a full side.
Mhm.
So one of those people in those gated communities, my line of thought was, why not make it possible for you to buy 2 square feet, since you've only got $50? That way you could buy 2 square feet and you could buy some dye and some finish and a small set of stamping tools, and you could actually start.
Right.
And that happened.
You don't have to have $500 to start trying to craft.
And mom and dad didn't have to have $500 to be able to send to Johnny, who screwed up one time and now is in a gated community. And he was able to be successful. And we've heard countless stories like that all because of that, they were able to get out. There's a guy in Florida, he's making alligator belts. And he uses our splits from off of Herman Oak sides. He'll buy a pallet of them occasionally, very rarely, but it's
not nearly enough.
Yeah, but that's where he learned, and that's how he makes his living now.
Yeah.
So he's
Alligator
using
belts.
the split in between the.
Puts that alligator over the top, makes a nice dome belt. He sent me one, that I still wear.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a good feeling.
Well, and we appreciate the feedback as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, over the last 25 years, what would you say your greatest accomplishment is here at Springfield?
My greatest accomplishment?
Yes. It's kind of on the spot.
Here in Springfield Leather.
Well, I guess one of the things I feel best about is the fact that we actually changed our little section of the leather industry.
Well, you had 30 years at Tandy.
No, I had 24.
24
25,
years.
24, 25.
Oh, look, so you're finally even.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a really long time in another business. And then when it came to where it was your business, and you had already been doing things that you had wanted to do at Tandy.
Some.
They let you have
Right, there was a lot
bit
of freedom there.
Correct. But whenever you made it your own, I feel like you took all of that experience and you said, how can I make the experience for the customer better? How can I encourage more leathercraft? And even Michael, he asked a little while ago,
To the top.
Yeah, do you consider SLC a stabilizing force in the leather market? How do you view SLC inside the leather market?
That's a really good question and an interesting question. I think it is a stabilizing force to a large degree, and probably will continue to be. I mean, as times change, there's so many more leather companies that never existed before, and COVID came along and made it even worse. And it enabled a lot of people to start businesses out of their homes that progressed into their garage, that progressed into a little building or whatever, and they were able to go. So there's a constant pressure on SLC to deal with competition, in a way that makes it possible for us to continue. And of course, everybody's having to do that. But one of the things, to get to the point of his question, is that the way that we think, I think, has proved to be successful, and it's proved to be a pretty good business model for the rest of the leather community, and that's in making other people successful. Once you start and go down that path, it's gonna work for you. You'll have your ups and downs, but it's gonna work.
Yep.
Rosie?
I was just thinking of, some of those small companies that you mentioned, and even the ones that came along before COVID, they literally, a lot of them made a trip to Springfield and said, hey, we're opening a small leather shop. What advice can you give us? Mm-hmm. And so, in that situation, those companies are still in business, and they took that advice, a lot of them, or some, and they took that advice and they ran with it, and it proved true. And, that is continuing and perpetuating the leather world. Competition is a good thing for everybody, especially the customer. But at the same time, variety comes with it, and no leather company does everything the exact same way as the other leather company.
Right.
You know, and along with that, Rusty, that's a good point, because being able to communicate to someone openly, with humility, and honestly, that's a really good ability to have. But the thing about that is, when they are able to perceive that you are doing that, that is a really big deal, because that's when people actually take advice. You think about the times we've been given advice and don't take it. We've all plenty of those instances. Somebody tells us what they think is a good idea. But if I get a person in front of me that conveys to me that they are honestly and sincerely wanting to help me out of the goodness of their heart or whatever, then I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna pay more attention to that person, and that's a pretty good thing.
Well, and track record goes a long ways, and I think that
Yes.
was part. I think that was part of the question that Michael had put up there, is something to do with your track record, and I think that that's kind of what you're indicating is that you want to be able to see their track record that makes you confident and comfortable to take that advice. You know, seeing that they have been putting that into place, or working along with what they're really trying to say to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
And for me, especially, I'm the newbie here at this table, at least. But when I first started working here, I did a little like, oh, well, what's this company I'm working for? I don't know anything about leather really. I just kind of got into it. And the one thing that I was hearing, which really struck out to me, was that out there on the internet, you have all these keyboard warriors that are completely anonymous or whatever. But the one thing I saw in leather forums and different social media platforms was that someone said, I got this from Springfield Leather, and I had an issue with it. Everyone commented, well, call them, they'll make it right. Call them, they'll make it right. And I think that really just spoke to me about, what Springfield Leather stands for, is that we want you to be successful.
Well, you're not going to be successful without your customer being successful.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. So.
And a lot of that, I just think, is common sense. It always amazed me, with the car industry. Some of the older customers out there will remember when the car industry in this country failed. The government had to bail them out. Well, why'd they have to do that? It was stupid. It's because they weren't really concerned with the customers. They were concerned with themselves, making lots of money and all this other stuff. And then what happened? It left and went to Japan. When you think about the leather industry, same thing happened. You remember when the shoe industry just flat packed up and left? That's because they were concerned with making shoes and not so concerned with the customer as they could have been. I don't want to do that.
Well, there you go.
Well, so I think we have 12 of these down. So next month we'll have 13.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I really don't.
And who cares?
As long as we keep doing them, I mean, that's really all that matters.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how many
So
we
things should get more exciting by the week and by the month here in this next period of time, because new leathers, new sources, new prices, new this, new that, better ways of doing 18 different things. It's exciting right now.
Yeah, no, it's going to be nice to see how it all comes together. Sometimes you've got to lay, well, not sometimes, you've always got to lay a lot of groundwork before you can begin to actually build anything on top of it. And so, there's been a lot of groundwork laid, and I think that it will pay dividends as it comes to fruition. And I think it actually will give the customer base themselves a lot more ability to know what they're going to get with Springfield Leather, in a sense of these standards are not going away, they're actually increasing and moving up. And I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome, and hopefully that it is beneficial to our customers.
Good.
And everybody say hi to Tom. This is his first live that he's caught.
Hi, Tom.
He's impressed. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Well, and I was going to say, if any of you have any questions or anything that you want to send in, or just stuff that you made, we'd love to see it and love to highlight it.
Dan
Way.
at springfieldleather.com.
Go for it.
He'll share with the whole team.
14
14.
All right.
What?
is the number.
Well, we've done 14 of these.
Oh.
14.
Thanks,
Oh,
Tony.
wow. Okay.
We thought you were asleep back there.
No, I was just busy.
I was
working.
hoping he would.
All right, is that
Anyway,
it for us then?
Website to build.
Huh?
What?
So somebody's got a website to build.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Faster, faster.
That's it for us then.
That's it for
So,
us.
All right,
thanks
guys.
for number 14.
We'll
See
see
you
you
guys.
on
Guys,
Friday,
bye.
and we'll do some trading cards.
Bye.
Bye.
Was this 14 or?